The Prime Minister and NATO's Secretary General are in northern Alberta today. For the latest on this, we bring in CTV's Rachel Aiello. She joins us live this hour from Ottawa. Thanks so much for making time, Rachel.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Okay, so this tour started yesterday. Bring us up to speed on the big moments so far.
Yeah, so yesterday, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau were in Canada's north. In Nunavut, they visited one of the largest military operations in the Arctic and took a look at some radar defense systems in place there. Overall, this trip is really about Canada's Arctic sovereignty and our northern defense systems. This has become a priority because of concerns about Russia's incursion in Ukraine and potential fears that they could try to incur into the Arctic. So Canada, as a key NATO member, is trying to show a sense of priority on ensuring that our northern Arctic is defended and that there are systems in place to ensure that Canada, as a NATO member, is capable of responding should things escalate in the north.
Okay, and Stoltenberg and Trudeau set to have a bilateral meeting today. We dipped into that live for just a couple of moments. Heard them talk a bit about climate change. Let me ask you what you'll be listening for there today.
So we are hearing today from them about how important Canada is as an ally in NATO and the strategic role the Arctic is going to play going forward in this NATO alliance. With Finland and Sweden joining NATO, Russia is going to be the only Arctic nation not in that key military alliance. And so what we heard today was Stoltenberg emphasizing how important Canada's role is going to be. They're in Cold Lake, Alberta, a northern military base, meeting with Canadian Armed Forces members there. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland is there, Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly, as well as Canada's Northern Affairs Minister. So they're set to hold a media availability shortly, and we're expecting more questions to Canada about its defense spending. Obviously, we're not hitting that NATO 2% of GDP target, so there's probably going to be inquiries about how important is Canada's Arctic sovereignty, their defense systems, and do we have the funding there to ensure that it's up to standards?
So the majority of these conversations about Canada's role helping NATO, obviously on the global stage. Just want to ask you as well, Rachel, about what message you think these officials, through having these meetings, are hoping to send to Russia.
So I think they are trying to send the message that Canada is alert. They understand the strategic positioning that is required to defend the Arctic. I think it's also worth noting for Canadians generally, previous Prime Minister Stephen Harper, his government and the Conservatives put Arctic defense as a priority, and that kind of waned off in recent years under Trudeau. But with Russia's attacks in Ukraine, it's kind of become a renewed priority. So between this visit and the visit from German Chancellor Scholz earlier this week, obviously Canada is trying to position itself as a key ally to these countries as they go forward into this 6 months now of this war in Ukraine and the role that Canada is playing to support its allies.
Yeah, the optics do matter. Rachel Aiello, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate this.
Thanks.